You wake up, and before your feet even touch the ground, your phone is already glowing. A flood of notifications, missed messages, unfinished tasks. Your heart races though the sun has barely risen. Most mornings, this is how it begins. You're already behind, already distracted, already pulled into 1,000 directions before you've even taken your first full breath. And deep down, you know the cost. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and you wonder where your time has gone, why you always feel restless, why peace feels like a stranger. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. If you start your morning in chaos, you carry that chaos into everything. If you wake in a rush, the whole day becomes a chase. If you open your eyes to noise, you close your heart to clarity. And yet, you also know this. When you have managed to start a day with calm, even once, everything changes. Suddenly you respond with patience where you once reacted in anger. Suddenly challenges feel like lessons, not punishments. Suddenly you remember that life is not just survival. It is a chance to live deliberately. This is where the Stoics, those ancient students of resilience, whisper across centuries. They remind us that the morning is not just another hour on the clock. It is a foundation stone of the entire day. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, carrying the weight of an empire, still wrote to himself at dawn, "Remember, it is a privilege to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love." If even he needed this reminder, what about us, tangled in the noise of modern life? So the question is not whether your mornings matter. The question is, will you stumble into them unconsciously, or will you step into them with intention? Every sunrise is a rehearsal, a stage set before the curtain rises on the hours ahead. If you claim those first moments as yours, the world cannot steal them. If you anchor your mind before the storm, no storm can truly shake you. Stay with me, because what follows is not a list of hacks or empty rituals. It is a path, a living practice. Each step flows into the next, like stones across a river. Miss one, and you may feel unbalanced. Walk them all, and you will cross into mornings that are steady, luminous, and unshakable. The first practice, stillness. The first practice is stillness. Before the world demands anything of you, before you scroll, before you speak, you must return to yourself. Most people wake up and are immediately thrown into noise. The alarm shrieks, the phone buzzes, the mind starts running lists. In those first fragile moments of the day, you are already losing yourself. But the Stoics understood a deeper truth. Before you face the world, you must first face your own soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Stillness is not weakness. It is a foundation of strength. Imagine sharpening a sword before battle. You would not rush onto field unprepared. The morning is your battlefield, and stillness is the whetstone. When you pause, when you breathe deeply, when you give yourself even 60 seconds of silence, you are choosing to meet the day as its master, not its servant. Try it tomorrow. When your eyes open, resist the impulse to move quickly. Lie still for a moment. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Steady, persistent, reminding you that you are alive. Inhale slowly. Exhale deliberately. Let thoughts drift past like clouds across an endless sky. Do not chase them. Do not wrestle with them. Let them move while you remain anchored. In this space, you remember something essential. Your worth is not measured by the emails you send, the notifications you answer, or the tasks you complete. Your worth is in the simple fact that you are alive here, now, capable of choosing how to live this day. Even a single conscious breath can begin the transformation. 3 minutes can shift the entire rhythm of the day ahead. And over time, this practice of stillness becomes more than a pause. It becomes a sanctuary you carry within you, a place you can always return no matter how loud the world becomes. Hold on to this, because once you have claimed stillness, you are ready to add the light that follows gratitude. The next practice, gratitude. From stillness, we move naturally into gratitude. Once you have paused, once you have felt your breath and reclaimed your inner ground, the next step is to open your eyes to the simple gifts already around you. Gratitude is not about pretending life is perfect. It is about training your mind to notice what is real, what is already enough, even in the middle of imperfection. The Stoics warned against endless craving. Seneca reminded us that to desire what you don't have while ignoring what you do is the surest path to misery. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "Do not indulge in dreams of what you do not have, but reckon up the blessings you do possess." Gratitude, then, is the antidote to restlessness. It is a quiet light that softens the edge of fear, frustration, and impatience. Begin simply. As you rise from stillness, whisper to yourself 3 things you are thankful for. They do not need to be grand. The warmth of your bed, the sound of birds outside the window, the steady beat of your own heart, the chance, however ordinary, to try again today. Each acknowledgement is a thread that ties you back to the abundance you already carry. When you train your eyes to see blessings, challenges lose their sharpness. The traffic jam is no longer a personal insult. It is time given back to breathe. A delay is no longer catastrophe. It is space to practice patience. Gratitude reframes the world. It transforms burdens into teachers and ordinary moments into treasures. And gratitude is contagious. When you carry it with you, others feel it. A softer voice, a calmer presence, a simple smile. These are the ripples gratitude sends outward. You strengthen not only your own spirit, but the spirits of everyone you meet. Take a breath now. Say quietly, "I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for my breath, my mind, my heart." Let these words sink deep, not as empty affirmations, but as anchors. Because when you begin the morning with gratitude, the day ahead cannot easily take your peace from you. From here, we step into another essential practice, the act of setting intentions, shaping how you will meet whatever comes. The next practice, intention. Gratitude clears your vision, but vision alone is not enough. The next practice is intention. Most mornings we step into the day with hidden demands. That people treat us kindly, that plans unfold smoothly, that nothing interrupts our schedule. These are expectations, and expectations are chains. The Stoics taught a different way. Epictetus reminded us, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Intention is freedom. It shifts the focus from what the world owes you to who you choose to be. When you wake, instead of saying, "I expect this day to go my way," whisper instead, "I intend to meet whatever comes with patience, courage, and clarity." Suddenly the weight shifts. You no longer live at the mercy of circumstance. You walk with a compass, not shackles. Think of it this way. Expectations make you brittle. The moment something cracks your plan, you break. But intentions make you resilient. They bend with the wind, without snapping. One harsh word, one delay, one unexpected challenge becomes a test of your chosen virtues, not a theft of your peace. This does not require a journal of plans or an hour of strategy. It can be as simple as one sentence breathed into the morning air. Today I will act with kindness. Or, today I will not be ruled by anger. Or, today I will focus on what I can control. These words are small, but they are armor. Carry them with you, and the storms that rise will find you steady. Conflicts will not crush you. Mistakes will not define you. And setbacks will not poison your spirit. Because you did not demand perfection. You set your course with intention. So as you leave gratitude and prepare to meet the world, pause and decide, who will I be today? Not what will happen, but who will show up to meet it. That choice is yours, and it is more powerful than any plan. With intention alive in you, the next step is to strengthen your courage by learning to embrace discomfort before the day even begins. The next practice, embracing discomfort. Once your intentions are set, the mind feels steady. But steadiness must be tested. That is where the next practice arrives. Embracing discomfort. The world whispers constantly that comfort is the goal, that ease is the prize, that convenience is happiness. But the Stoics knew the opposite. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." And so they sought moments of resistance, not to suffer, but to grow. Think of your morning as a training ground. You don't need to climb mountains or run marathons. You only need to choose one small challenge that your body resists. Step into a cold shower. Hold a stretch longer than feels easy. Take a brisk walk when your body begs for warmth under covers. Each act, simple as it seems, is a declaration. I'm strong in my cravings, braver than my fears. Why does this matter? Because life will not spare you discomfort. The day ahead will hold delays, criticism, obstacles you cannot control. If you avoid every small difficulty in the morning, the larger ones will crush you. But if you train with minor trials, you're already rehearsed when the real storms come. You have tempered your spirit like steel and fire. And here lies a hidden gift. Discomfort sharpens appreciation. After cold water, warmth feels alive. After strain, ease is sweeter. By choosing struggle first, you unlock deeper joy later. Comfort stops being a dull default and becomes a vivid blessing. So tomorrow, pick one challenge. Not to punish yourself, but to awaken yourself. Let the water sting your skin. Let your breath quicken. Let your muscles shake. And then smile, because you did not run from it. You welcomed it. You proved to yourself before the day even began that you are capable of more than you think. Carry that memory into every encounter. The voice that says, I cannot, will grow quieter. And the voice that says, I endure, will grow louder. And with courage stirred, the natural next step is to capture your thoughts before the day scatters them. Through reflection on the page. The next practice, morning reflection. After testing your courage with discomfort, you enter the next practice, reflection. The Stoics were not only doers, they were recorders of their inner lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for us, but for himself, a private conversation, a way to shape his own mind each morning. Reflection is how you gather the scattered fragments of thought and form them into a compass before the world pulls you in 100 directions. This is not about writing something elegant or polished. It is not for anyone else to see. It is simply the act of asking yourself, in ink or on a screen, who do I want to be today? When you write, you slow down just enough to notice what would otherwise rush past. You name the challenges you expect, not to obsess over them, but to prepare your heart. You choose a single virtue to carry with you, patience, courage, kindness, discipline. By putting it on the page, you make it real. Imagine this. You know a difficult conversation waits later in the day. In reflection, you decide in advance, I will meet it with calm, not anger. Hours later, when tension rises, you are not caught off guard. You are simply living the plan you already wrote. The page becomes a shield. Even one sentence can guide you. Today I will focus on what I can control. Today I will not let frustration own me. Small words, but when you read them back, they steady your spirit like a lighthouse against a storm. Over weeks, these reflections stack up. They become a mirror of your growth, showing how often you chose presence over chaos, courage over fear. And when you look back, you will see not just ink on paper, but the record of a soul slowly becoming stronger. So tomorrow morning, pause and write. Let the page hold your worries and your intentions. Let it remind you that life is not lived by accident, but by conscious choice. With reflection guiding your mind, you are ready to move your body, because the Stoics knew the soul and body rise together. The next practice, moving the body. Reflection steadies the mind, but the Stoics understood that mind and body are inseparable. A restless body can drag the spirit down. A strong body can lift it up. That is why the next practice is movement. Not punishment, not a race for perfection. Simply moving with purpose, reminding yourself through action that you are alive, capable, and present. Think of how easily mornings can trap you in stillness, but not the nourishing kind. Hours at a desk, shoulders hunched, eyes glazed over a glowing screen. When you begin the day without waking the body, you carry that heaviness into every moment. But when you rise and stretch, when you walk or breathe deeply, when you push your muscles even a little, you send a message to yourself. I am here. I am awake. I am ready. You do not need hours. You do not need equipment. 2 minutes of stretching can change the rhythm of your blood. 10 push-ups can stir confidence. A short walk under the morning sky can reset the entire mood of your day. Each act, no matter how small, is an affirmation carved into muscle and breath. And there is joy in this practice. The body was not built merely to carry you like luggage through life. It was built to express strength, to experience energy, to connect you to the present. Movement releases vitality, sharpens focus, and spills into creativity. Even the simplest ritual, reaching arms overhead, bending with intention, inhaling fully, can shift your inner state more powerfully than coffee or scrolling ever will. When challenges later appear, stress, conflict, fatigue, you'll already have trained your body to meet them. A body awakened is an ally. It supports your mind, steadies your emotions, carries you with endurance. Each morning movement becomes a declaration. I will not start weak. I will rise with strength. With the body awakened and the spirit stirred, the next step is to feed the mind itself. Because what you place into your thoughts in quiet morning will echo through every choice that follows. The next practice, feeding the mind with wisdom. Now that your body is alive and your spirit steady, it is time to nourish the one place where every choice begins, the mind. The Stoics believe that what you allow into your thoughts at the start of the day shapes everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, carried endless burdens, yet he began mornings with words of wisdom, reminders of virtue, of clarity, of the shortness of life. He knew that the mind is a garden, and the first seeds planted each morning decide what will grow. Ask yourself, what do you usually feed your mind when you wake? Headlines full of fear, social media dripping with comparison, a flood of notifications designed to scatter your focus. If these are your first seeds, do not be surprised when your day grows restless, distracted, fragile. But if instead you begin with wisdom, a passage of timeless truth, a lesson from those who endure before you, even a single line of guidance, you plant strength. You plant patience. You plant freedom. This does not need to be an hour of study. Even 5 minutes can change your direction. Read a short passage from Epictetus. Reflect on a few lines from Seneca. Listen to a voice that speaks of courage rather than chaos. Let those words settle, not as background noise, but as anchors. Carry them with you like a compass hidden in your pocket, and the effect compounds. Over time, the mind you have fed with wisdom will meet challenges differently. Where once you reacted with anger, you will pause with perspective. Where once you drown in frustration, you will rise with clarity. So tomorrow, before you scroll, before you open the gates to distraction, ask, what will I choose to feed my mind today? Choose words that strengthen rather than weaken. Truths that steady rather than scatter. Protect your mind as you would a sacred sanctuary. Because it is, once the mind is nourished, you are ready for a subtler, more paradoxical exercise. The Stoic art of imagining what could go wrong, not to despair, but to prepare. The next practice, negative visualization. With your mind nourished by wisdom, you are ready for a practice that may sound dark at first, but is in fact the secret to lasting calm. Negative visualization. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would imagine, before the day began, what might go wrong, not to drown in fear, but to strip fear of its power. Seneca wrote, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Think of it like rehearsing for life surprises. Someone may insult you today. A plan you worked on may collapse. A conversation may sting. Fatigue may drag at your body. Instead of hoping everything unfolds perfectly, you acknowledge the truth. Challenges are coming. And then you tell yourself, if they arrive, I will remain steady. I will respond with virtue. I will not be broken. This simple act changes everything. Without preparation, hardship shocks you. It feels unfair, overwhelming. But when you have already imagined it, you meet it like an expected guest. It no longer controls you. You control your response. And there is another gift hidden in this practice. When you picture the loss of what you take for granted, your health, your loved ones, even a breath in your chest, you wake to their true value. Gratitude deepens. Ordinary moments glow. A sunrise becomes more vivid when you imagine it might not return tomorrow. Start small. Spend a few minutes each morning asking, what might challenge me today? Picture it clearly. Feel for a moment, and then breathe, release it, and carry the quiet confidence that comes from being prepared. You have rehearsed. You are ready. Over time, negative visualization becomes armor for the soul. Life shocks lose their teeth. You no longer live in denial nor in fear, but in readiness. And with readiness comes freedom. The freedom to live fully, without clinging, without panic. With the mind steadied by preparation, it is time to turn inward again, not to fear what could be lost, but to speak to yourself with the strength and kindness you deserve. The next practice, speaking kindly to yourself. Having prepared your mind for hardship, the next practice is to shape the voice that speaks within. Long before the world says a word to you, your inner dialogue begins. And for many, it begins with cruelty. I didn't sleep enough. I'm already behind. I'm not good enough. These quiet whispers of self-criticism set the tone for the entire day. If you carry them unchallenged, no amount of external success will quiet the storm inside. The Stoics understood that the voice within can be your strongest ally or your harshest enemy. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as though speaking to himself, not to flatter but to guide, to encourage, to steady. He demanded discipline, but he paired it with compassion. This is the balance. To be honest without being brutal, to be firm without being cruel. Speaking kindly to yourself is not about empty affirmations or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing words that are both true and empowering. Instead of, I can't handle this, try, I will face this with patience. Instead of, I always fail, say, I am still learning, and that is strength. These small shifts are not indulgence. They are strategy. Words shape perception, and perception shapes action. Imagine starting your day by telling yourself, I am capable. I am resilient. I will not be ruled by fear today. How much stronger, calmer, and more grounded would you walk into the world? Self-talk is not background noise. It is the script your life follows. Over time, this practice rewires the way you meet difficulties. Where harshness once broke your spirit, kindness steadies it. You stop sabotaging yourself before the day begins. You become a friend to your own soul, not an enemy. So tomorrow morning, pause and listen. What words will you give yourself? Choose ones that guide, strengthen, and anchor you. Because when the voice inside you is kind and steady, the noise outside cannot easily shake you. And when you are rooted in kindness toward yourself, the final step is to turn outward, dedicating your day to service beyond your own needs. The final practice, dedication to service. When your mornings are anchored in stillness, gratitude, intention, courage, reflection, movement, wisdom, preparation, and kindness, there's one final practice that completes the circle: service. The Stoics believe we are not born only for ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." To live with strength is to live in a way that contributes, however quietly, to the lives around you. Service does not always mean great sacrifice. It does not require public recognition or grand gestures. It can be as small as listening fully to someone who needs to be heard, offering patience in a moment when irritation would be easier, doing your work with integrity even when no one is watching, smiling at a stranger who feels invisible. Each act, humble as it may seem, ripples outward in ways you may never see. And here lies the paradox. When you dedicate your day to something larger than yourself, your own struggles grow lighter. A setback no longer feels like a personal curse. It becomes fuel for patience, a lesson in resilience, a chance to serve with dignity. The weight you carry becomes shared, transformed by purpose. So each morning, ask yourself, how can I serve today? Perhaps it is your family, perhaps your community, perhaps simply the stranger you meet by chance. Let this question shape your choices, guide your words, and soften your responses. Because when life becomes about more than just you, your spirit finds strength it never knew it had. Service connects you to meaning. It roots you in virtue. It reminds you that your life is not measured only by what you achieve for yourself, but by the light you leave in others. And when the day closes, no matter how hard it was, you will know it was not wasted, because it touched more than just your own heart. And so the circle of the Stoic morning is complete. You rise not only for yourself, but for the world. And in serving others, you discover the deepest form of strength. And now you see the shape of a morning lived with intention. Stillness centers you. Gratitude opens your eyes to abundance. Intention sets your compass. Discomfort builds your courage. Reflection clarifies your path. Movement awakens your strength. Wisdom nourishes your mind. Negative visualization prepares your heart. Kindness. These are not tricks or fleeting habits. They are anchors, timeless practices that the Stoics carried through hardship, loss, and the storms of life. And they are here for you too, waiting each morning when the sun rises. Imagine what your days could become if you embraced even one of these consistently. Now imagine the transformation if you walked all 10 like stepping stones across the river. Each stone builds steadiness. Each choice strengthens your foundation. Each morning becomes not just survival, but a rehearsal for a life lived with courage, clarity, and virtue. The world will always try to pull you into chaos, but you have the power to choose differently. To begin your morning not with distraction, but with strength. Not with fear, but with calm. Not with emptiness, but with purpose. If this journey spoke to you, take one small step today. Choose one practice and live it tomorrow morning. Then return. Share your affirmation in the comments. Let your words become a promise to yourself and a light for someone else who needs it. And if you found value here, like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe so we can continue walking this path together. How you rise is how you live. So rise with intention. Rise with strength. Rise with purpose. Your morning is your foundation. Build it wisely, and the rest of your life will follow.